Good day to you, friends. How is everybody doing? I hope you're doing well. Everything is really great over here with the team. Thanks to everybody who's been reaching out. It's been an absolute blast helping you so far. Hope the holiday season is treating you well, as I think when this video is out, we'll be in the midst of all of that. But today's video is a great one. It is a bit of a sleeper. I don't know if a sleeper is fair to say, but I guess, yeah, it's smaller. So if you're looking at a map, if you're zooming around the Twin Cities, just, maybe on Zillow or Realtor.com or something like that, or just on Google, I suppose, this one isn't going to pop up right away because it's small, So there's all the big ones, obviously Minneapolis, St. Paul, Bloomington, and then all these other ones just pop up right away. This one, you're gonna have to zoom in a little bit further. St. Anthony / St. Anthony Village, kind of the same thing. I might refer to it as St. Anthony throughout the video, and that is also St. Anthony Village. Don't mistake it for St. Anthony, Maine, which is a sort of a neighborhood in Minneapolis proper, basically right up against the river. St. Anthony, Maine is great, but that's not what this is. This video, okay, right here, this is a little glimpse into it. This is called Central Park. Back behind me a little bit, but still kind of part of all the same splotch of land. It's called Water Tower Park. You got everything here. First of all, you got a sledding hill. It's not quite sledding season yet, but it will be soon. Good, solid sledding hill. Approve. I do approve of this. You've got hockey rink. You have football field. You have baseball diamonds. You have 2 or 3 like proper playgrounds. You have like pergolas, or I don't know, whatever the thing that you would like eat under on a sunny day. Does that make sense? There's a skate park over there. There's a skate park back there. Pretty sweet. And St. Anthony Village, whatever, it's a quality over quantity. Okay? It's not that huge of an area, but it's great. There's so much good stuff. I'm excited to share it with you. St. Anthony Village, St. Anthony, quality over quantity. Let's go. How's it going, y'all? My name is Jesse Lynch, and I run the hardest working real estate team in the game. We are called To The Twin Cities. Go ahead and check out our website, tothetwincities.com. But this YouTube channel is all about helping you find a place to call home, a place to land here in the beautiful Twin Cities of Minnesota. And that is whether you're just buying a house for the first time or moving here from a different city, state, country, planet. Basically, relocations and first-time home buyers. That's what we do, and that's what we do better than anybody else. So if either of those things appeal to you, do us both a favor, subscribe to this channel, click that little bell to get notified. Please, go ahead. Give the video a thumbs up. I would appreciate that very, very much. It helps, especially early on in the video. It just helps the algorithm. Give the video a thumbs up. Say literally anything at all in the comments. You can type the words literally anything at all, period. Send the comment. That's cool with me. I'd appreciate it. Engagement is good for the channel, helps people find it, and yeah, hopefully helps people ultimately find their place to live here in the beautiful Twin Cities of Minnesota. And as always, if that is you, if you are thinking about moving here or buying a house for the first time, do whatever you can to get a hold of us. Fundamentally, the 2 slickest ways are going to be go to the website, tothetwincities.com. We have a contact form there. Super easy to fill out. Name, email address, phone number, piece of cake, a little bit of information. Shoot it over. We'll get back to you. Or just shoot us an email to info@tothetwincities.com, and we will get back to you right away, basically, and yeah, we'll kind of get the show on the road. You can also call or text the number on the screen, or just, if you're not ready to reach out yet, go ahead, follow us on Instagram @ToTheTwinCities. They're all just different ways to get in touch and to stay in touch, and if I'm being totally honest, they all lead to me. But right now, I'm basically, that corner that I was at, this is the St. Charles Catholic Church / Catholic school, I believe. And that road that I started on was Stinson Boulevard, which is a beautiful road. There's a lot of like very, very nice homes, all up and down Stinson. Kind of a cool, I don't know, mid-century sort of moment within the cities. Stinson is the border. We'll talk about all that. And then this road right here is St. Anthony Boulevard, which if you watch the video with Steve and I of Northeast, we were hanging out a little bit on St. Anthony Boulevard, and basically they are right next to each other. St. Anthony has a lot going for it. Big fan. Excited to show you around some more. Just want to give you a peek at this street. Just a lot of really cool, you know, old, like a lot of ramblers. Just a lot of cool architecture. Very well kept. All right, no more rambling. St. Anthony Village. You might come up as Village, by the way. St. Anthony Village, or just St. Anthony. Let's go. Okie dokie there, folks. I'm just kidding. What if I talk like that the whole time? Would you still watch this channel? I reckon not. I'm going to leave sunglasses on because it's a little bit sunny, but it's a beautiful day. Right now I'm walking through a neighborhood in St. Anthony that I think sums up the nicer sort of like upper echelon, although there are some homes along Silver Lake that are also insane, like $1 million plus, but this is more of like a standard issue, nice neighborhood, very well maintained homes, lawns, streets, you're close to a park. It's awesome. But in general, so just to let you know a little bit about St. Anthony. For one, a lot of people get confused about what St. Anthony is because there are multiple St. Anthony elements within the Twin Cities. In Minneapolis, there's a St. Anthony West and a St. Anthony East neighborhood, but those are just neighborhoods within Minneapolis. That's not what this is. And St. Paul has St. Anthony Park and South St. Anthony Park. Again, that's not what this is. This is St. Anthony or St. Anthony Village, which is a suburb just basically to the north of the cities, I guess just really east of northeast Minneapolis. Another weird fact that I think makes St. Anthony even more, I don't know, odd, is that part of it is in Hennepin County, which is home to Minneapolis. Part of it is in Ramsey County, which is home to St. Paul. So in fairness, it's a strange place, and I get why it leads to some confusion because there's some of that weird stuff. I think it's not quite a half and half Ramsey County to Hennepin County, but it's like a almost split down the middle. Like I said, it's geographically situated, but just east of Northeast. If you watch the video that Steve and I did on Northeast Minneapolis, or the really old one that I did, which was the first virtual tour I ever did about Northeast, then this is just right next to that. So it's super convenient to like sort of the coolness that Northeast offers, while still being in this sort of like quiet suburban feel. To the north, you have New Brighton, which is a great spot. To the east, you have Roseville and a little bit more New Brighton. To the south, you have fundamentally Northeast Minneapolis. Yeah, that's probably really all that's under there. And then to the west, you have Columbia Heights and Northeast Minneapolis, depending on how far north you are within St. Anthony. Here in St. Anthony, you are so close to like a downtown. Obviously, you're right next to Northeast Minneapolis. You're maybe 10 minutes from downtown, depending on where you are here. Some of it's probably even closer to that than that to downtown Minneapolis. You're maybe 10 to 15 minutes to downtown St. Paul, and then you're maybe 15 to 20 minutes to the MSP airport. So super, super convenient location, and I think that's a huge sort of driving factor of why people are moving here and what's drawing people here. Obviously, it's a pretty small suburb. The population is just under 9,000 people, and it doesn't take up that big of a landmass, so it feels very quaint and just kind of nice for that reason. Trick-or-treatable, I would definitely define this area as a trick-or-treatable neighborhood. It's got some conveniences. but not everything. It's not, you know, like suburban paradise or anything like that, but it has a lot of stuff, and you're close to plenty of stuff. Again, close to the cities proper, so there's plenty of like culture and cool restaurants and stuff, you know, if you just travel the cities because you're right there. But within St. Anthony proper, there's a handful of cool independent shops. I will be by them later in the video, because there's really only two sort of commercial sections within St. Anthony, and that's where the huge majority of like shops are here. There might be a couple, you know, like sprinkled throughout otherwise, but pretty much two main spots where you would go to get anything. It's got a grocery store, but it doesn't have like a Target. If you're going to a Target, you're just going to Northeast, but it's so close. There's or Roseville. There's a Northeast Target, and it's called the Quarry. There's one in Roseville. It's all super, super close. So convenience, I would say, is a huge factor in what is drawing people here. But then also sort of like the housing stock is another thing. The housing stock here is very, very nice. It's well maintained, and there's a lot of unique houses here, a lot of sort of mid-century. So if people are looking for mid-century, maybe post-war, even sort of 60s stuff, this is a good spot to find it. I would say you're not going to find like the most epic mid-century stuff, right? Like the sort of like architect grade stuff, right? Where it's like very, very distinct. There's not going to be a ton of that here, but if you want something that just kind of has like some, you know, mid-century vibes, maybe those like Brady Bunch style houses, you know what I mean? There's going to be some of that here, and the houses are just nice. Again, neighborhoods are nice, stuff is well maintained. They do a good job, and we're talking a median list price of $350,000 here. I would say that is including all of the sort of housing types, which is going to be primarily single family homes here, but there are going to be some townhomes, some condos, and then obviously like apartments and stuff, but those aren't sold, those are rented. So $350 median list price. I would say if you want one of the like well-kept, you know, let's say 3-bed, 2-bath house in an area like this, you're probably looking kind of $350 on the low end, right? So $350 to even get into a neighborhood like this, if not $400. But that said, you can find maybe not this neighborhood, maybe another neighborhood within here where you can get in for $350. Maybe $300 is probably bottom of what you would find any house really in St. Anthony. And I think part of, you know, what makes it it's not expensive. I would not say it's expensive. It's pretty much right on the, you know, median home price in all of the Twin Cities. But it is, you know, $250, you're not gonna be able to find something like that. There's not a whole ton of budget houses here. So I think the reason for that is because the schools here are quite good. We're talking an A overall on niche.com. The St. Anthony New Brighton Independent School District gets an A- overall, but then the schools that serve St. Anthony specifically get an A. So it's a little confusing, but shouldn't be too bad. Basically to say that probably there are some more in the A- range in New Brighton versus St. Anthony, but all very, very good schools. And just a taste of what schools there are. St. Anthony Village Senior High School gets an A, St. Anthony Village Middle School gets an A-, and Wilshire Park Elementary School gets an A- as well. So for the most part, it doesn't really matter where you are in St. Anthony, you're gonna have access to pretty rockin' schools. And I think, again, people wanna live close to the likes of Northeast or close to downtown, but they don't wanna be in it. They want a little more yard. They want a little quieter area than St. Anthony. For sure, it's going to be really high up on a lot of people's list. But all right, enough just statistics. Let's go for a drive. Let me show you around a little bit. All right, y'all, right now I'm at, it's actually kind of a combination of Silver Lake Park / Silverwood park, if that makes sense. I think this is more in the Silverwood Park neighborhood, but this itself is Silver Lake, so I don't know, whatever. It doesn't really matter. Right across there is technically Columbia Heights, and then on this side, you're in that St. Anthony area, and then it's kind of weird. The boundaries are a little weird right here, but technically this is in St. Anthony. It's a great park, beautiful lake, really beautiful houses on the lake, and yeah, just a good spot to come, go for a walk your dog, canoe, you know, rowboat, whatever. There's all sorts of, you know, potential things that you can do here. It's not really like a power boat lake. It's just not big enough. A lot of these city lakes just aren't that. So if you're thinking that, this isn't going to be one of those, but we're talking pros and cons of living here in St. Anthony, Minnesota. I'm gonna say, how about this? Say it with me. Good schools. Pro number one, good schools. You probably knew I was gonna say it, but it's true. I think it's a big driving factor for the area is good schools. I think another huge pro is proximity to the cities, proximity to both downtowns. You're within 10, 15 minutes from either downtown. That is hard to beat. Pretty much anywhere. That's hard to beat. And beyond just, you know, proximity to downtowns, you have super slick highway access here in St. Anthony. And from 35, you can get to several places within the city, within the metro itself. You could drive all the way down to Northfield, and you could drive all the way to Duluth if you wanted. Actually, you could really drive all the way to Texas and stay on pretty much the same exact road, which is kind of insane. Next pro for me is going to be this beautiful outdoor space, this park space, and not just this one, but there are a handful of great little park spaces in this area. And you know, if I'm moving here, if I'm bringing my family here, park space, outdoor space, that's something that I'm really looking for. You know, just the ability to get outside and enjoy the outdoors, the beautiful outdoors that Minnesota has to offer. The fresh air, the beautiful sounds of leaf blowers. I'm just kidding, but that is what that sound is. If you can hear it, if you're wondering. And so to sort of piggyback on, I think, you know, the park spaces are great. They're very well maintained, well manicured. And I think that extends to the neighborhoods too. The houses here, for the most part, this isn't a complete blanket statement, there's going to be some that aren't, but for the most part, the houses here are very well taken care of. People seem to take care of their stuff here, from the lawns to the exterior facades to from having actually done showings. The interiors of houses seem to be, on the average, on the whole, very well taken care of. And then not only are they well taken care of, but there's a potential to get some very unique houses here. Whether it be like sort of the mid-century, the 60s built stuff, or even some of the earlier stuff is maybe, you know, just post-war, 1940s, that kind of stuff. It's not necessarily going to have, you know, like the sort of high-end mid-century vibe, but there are definitely a lot of ramblers here that have little mid-century little elements to them. So if that's something you're after, this could be a really good spot. Just kind of an interesting housing stock, you know, whether or not it's mid-century or whatever. It's unique houses. That's something that I personally enjoy. And then while you're enjoying your potentially unique and well-maintained home here, you're also going to have pretty quiet streets. And I think that's something that a lot of people are looking for, especially to be this close to the city and have this quiet of streets. You know, if you were in Northeast, which is right next door, yeah, you're going to potentially have, you know, a beautiful house and proximity to the cities and all that stuff, but you're not going to have, you know, excellent schools. You're going to have okay schools, and then you're going to have a lot more cars parked on the streets. You're less likely to have maybe an attached garage. You're more likely to have, you know, an alley and a 1 or 2 car garage, or no garage. Then here, you're much more likely to find an attached garage, maybe a tuck under, than you are a detached. So to be that close and have such a similar lifestyle to Northeast, but, you know, not have the sort of cars parked on the streets, you're going to have fewer renters here. That's definitely a big, you know, driving factor for a lot of folks here. Okay, first con. Other than, there's basically 2 shopping centers in the whole area, right? And we've been to those places basically. And it's, you know, there's enough stuff that you can live here and be comfortable and have access to most things. You're also close, you know, close enough to downtown, or you're close enough to, let's say, I've already said it, the, you know, Target in Northeast and the sort of shops in Roseville, but they're not here. They're certainly not really walkable. And yeah, you're just like a little bit removed from that. It's not like suburban haven. If you want a Whole Foods, or if you want, I don't know, like a Nordstrom or something, it's not here. You're gonna have to go somewhere else for that. So keep that in mind. Second con, and this is just like a gripe, the fact that it's in 2 counties is just wackier than it needs to be, okay? I don't get it. I don't see the point in that, but I guess that's how it was developed. So what are you gonna do? But I do find that I just feel like taxation and stuff is going to get a little bit more complicated than it seems like it needs to be for such a small plot of land. Why 2 counties? Why? But I don't know, I guess it's nice land, so maybe, I guess that's maybe why both counties want a piece, you know? It's a good spot. Okay, and then last but not least, okay, personal gripe is all the leaf blowers going on right now, but that's not specific to here. Shoot, GoPro died. What do you do? Last con for me is basically going to be that the southeastern sort of quadrant chunk of St. Anthony is a combination of 2 things that some people aren't going to like. For one, cemetery. It takes up some section of it. Some people just don't want to live that close to a cemetery. It doesn't particularly bother me. I can sort of see it as green space, being honest. And then there's also a golf course right there, which I wouldn't say is a con. I'd say that's a pro. But then just north of that cemetery, you're gonna have basically a petroleum company and a pipeline, like right there. So some of the area basically butts right up to, you know, like an oil petroleum pipeline, and it just gets a little industrial right there. But that said, where I am, I'm all the way up at the north, and kind of the further north you get, you're not even going to have an echo of that. So I wouldn't, you know, if that freaks you out, I wouldn't be totally worried about it. And if I'm being honest, that's all the cons I could think of. It's small. I don't know. That's not really a con. Yeah, I don't know. There's really not that much bad. Again, there are very few cons of the St. Anthony area. It is a beautiful spot. It's small. There's not a ton going on, but yeah, I think you're gonna like it. But all right, enough gabbing about it. Let's go for a drive, charge the old GoPro, and continue. All right, y'all, right now I'm at a sort of a commercial hub of St. Anthony. Over there you have Steel and Hops, which is like a very cool restaurant, bar kind of place. There's also Hickory Hog back there, another like cool, independent, sort of one-of-a-kind restaurant. And then, you know, a bunch of different stuff. Also, Fat Nat's Eggs is here. That's kind of a one-of-a-kind. But then a lot of this stuff is more chain stuff and stuff that you're going to be used to, more of like what I would call a suburban amenity, if that makes sense. There's also a Cub right over here, gas station, Starbucks, maybe one of my most frequently visited Starbucks, like one of like 3, and I live in the city, and I live in downtown Minneapolis, but my brokerage is in Northeast, and so is my studio space, the shop, right? So I'm in Northeast a lot. Northeast doesn't really have a Starbucks, so I come here if I need to go through a drive-through or something like that. But anyways, that's about 30 seconds about Starbucks that you'll never get back. Apologies. But so this is basically just a commercial hub, and there's a lot going on here, a lot of amenities, and as far as, you know, commercial stuff goes, I said it earlier, there's this spot, and then there's one other area that I would say has even less stuff, but definitely has a few amenities. So, but if I had to sum up St. Anthony in, you know, 3 quick little bullet points, I'm gonna say 1, small but mighty. Small footprint, but it's got a ton of stuff. It's got basically the essentials, you know what I mean? Whether you're here, which is called, by the way, Silver Lake Village. Okay, that's technically the name of this little development area. They're putting in apartments right over here, and then Cub, which is a grocery store for people who are not here. Cub is kind of probably one of like the more affordable grocery stores in the Twin Cities, if that makes sense. Yeah, we're also right by Silver Lake, the lake itself. Earlier, we were by some of the homes on Silver Lake. Beautiful homes. It's a very pretty lake. It's small, but again, it's mighty. So number one, small but mighty. Number two, good schools. Undeniably good schools, about an A-. A long time ago, I shot a video that I think I called Best Affordable School Districts. This one was on it, and yeah, A-, generally pretty good scores as far as like, you know, 1 out of 10s, it's like 7 or 8s, right? So pretty good schools as far as that goes. Maybe not top 5, but generally very good. And then third, and I think this is kind of maybe the most important for a lot of people, but proximity to the cities. It is close to the cities. The Target you might go to is going to probably be in either Northeast or Roseville. You're, you know, just minutes from downtown here. So to be in this sort of suburban, you know, area with these good schools, quiet streets, but be that close to the city, that is hard to beat. And you know, if you've been watching these videos, you know that I have a section that I call my For Fans of section, which is to say, if you like what you see here in St. Anthony, what are some other areas that you check out or that you should check out? I'm gonna say number one is New Brighton, and that's because, for one, they share a boundary, they share a school district. So if you like what you see from the sort of the affordability standpoint of this good school district, then for sure, New Brighton seems like a little bit of a no-brainer. And it's gonna have a similar vibe, but maybe even a little more suburban, right? So a little further out, a little bit more suburban, but a lot of kind of similar, I don't know, vibes. That makes sense. The next two, I'm gonna sort of group together as being similar, but bigger. The first of which is Richfield. Richfield is not that much bigger, and Richfield isn't gonna have the same schools. It's not gonna be as good as schools, I think. But it's kind of similar in that it's close to the city. You know, it's basically contiguous to the city proper, but Richfield is on the southern end of the metro. I will do a video on it eventually, but it is very similar to Bloomington East. So if you're curious about that, go watch the Bloomington video where I talk about Bloomington East. A great spot. A lot of first-time home buyers are into it. You can get a pretty nice spot for like $300K. I just helped some folks, shout out James and Jasmine, get into a house in Bloomington East. Super great little house, owned by some old people. They took excellent care of it. Just hadn't, you know, updated it a ton, but yeah, awesome house. Bloomington has a lot of that. Richfield has a lot of that. So that's, yeah, that's a little bit about those spots. The other spot that I'm gonna lump into this category is gonna be Roseville. I do have a video on Roseville. It's much bigger. It's more of a commercial hotspot. I think there's more commercial spaces within Roseville than any other place in the state, except maybe Bloomington. I think Bloomington is probably the truth, but per capita, I believe Roseville has the highest amount of commercial space per capita. It makes the taxes cheap. It's also right next door to here. Again, if you live here, you're probably gonna go to the Roseville Target and a bunch of, you know, Roseville Mall and stuff like that. There's a lot of conveniences that even if you live here, you'll probably go to there. That said, the schools in Roseville, not as good as the schools here, so keep that in mind. Okay, and then next up on the For Fans of section, I'm gonna say Falcon Heights. Falcon Heights is right by here as well. So geographically very close, maybe a little further east, well, not maybe, it is a little further east. And similar vibes in that it's like kind of an older suburb, really cute houses, might even have some older houses than you would find here. It's more of a St. Paul suburb, whereas I would say St. Anthony is a Minneapolis suburb. And yeah, so Falcon Heights, worth checking out if you want that kind of small, old school community in a suburb. Last but not least is Robbinsdale. Now, Robbinsdale is to the west of Minneapolis, just to the west of North Minneapolis. I have a video on that as well. And it has a lot of sort of the small old suburb feel. Schools aren't going to be as good, keep that in mind. And it's maybe not quite as well kept as, actually I have no problem saying that. It's not as well kept as St. Anthony. St. Anthony is a gem in that most of the houses here seem to be very well taken care of. There's a little bit of an elevated feel to some of the homes here, and I'm sure some of that has to do with how they were built initially. Maybe they just were more expensive when they were built, or for whatever reason, good schools brings a little bit more money. You know, the folks who live here have a little bit more money, and so they take a little better care of their house. I don't know. That's a little bit of conjecture, but it's pretty true. So if you come here, I think you'll see it for yourself, which if you come here, hey, reach out to us. We will take the absolute best care of you. You know we will. We do these videos all the time to help you, and we can't wait to hear from you. So however you want to get a hold of us, go to our website, tothetwincities.com. We have a little contact form there. Fill it out. Piece of cake. Super easy. Or if you want to include more information, shoot us an email at info@tothetwincities.com. It leads to the same spot, if I'm being totally honest. And maybe it feels a little too early. Maybe you're a couple years out. Follow us on Instagram, you know, stay in touch. And as always, if you have not yet, as you exit the video, do so safely. Subscribe to the channel, click the bell to get notified, give the video a thumbs up. Truly, give the video a thumbs up. I would appreciate that very much. It helps. And comment whatever you want in the comments. Again, you can literally type whatever you want, period, comment. I would not hate that at all. I would appreciate it very, very much. Thank you for watching. We did it. St. Anthony / St. Anthony Village, same thing. Virtual tour, St. Anthony / St. Anthony Village. We did it. See you in the next one. Happy holidays. Hopefully this comes out during the holidays and that makes sense. All right, bye-bye.